Hurts is not impressive. We're just going to call it what it is. Somebody got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
Nobody's concerned about Carson Wentz losing his job to Jalen Hurts.
So my takeaway on Jalen Hurts is I don't think he's a franchise quarterback.
Jalen Hurts has turned himself into an MVP caliber player, but he's still doubted by most of the media. His unlikely rise is riddled with adversity, public doubt, and perceived moments of failure. Do you know the story of Jalen being benched in one of the biggest games of his life? Or the reason Jalen stayed an extra year at the program that benched him? His success is built on overcoming doubters and succeeding against all odds. But how did we get here? Jalen played at Channelview High School in the Houston, Texas area. His father was the head coach. During his senior season, he threw for nearly 2,400 yards, he ran for nearly 1,400 yards, and he accounted for 51 total touchdowns. As a four-star dual-threat prospect, Jalen Hurts committed to the University of Alabama. In the second game of his freshman season, Jalen Hurts became the first Alabama quarterback to start as a true freshman in 32 years. Jalen threw for nearly 2,800 yards with 23 passing touchdowns. He also rushed for 954 yards with 13 rushing touchdowns. His rushing yards this season broke a 35-year-old record. Alabama finished the regular season 12-0 and number 1 in the country. They won the SEC championship, but in the national title game, they lost to Clemson 35-31. This is where the story starts to take a turn. During Jalen's sophomore season, he threw for 2,081 passing yards with 17 passing touchdowns and had 855 rushing yards with 8 rushing touchdowns. Unfortunately, during the national championship game, he was benched by head coach Nick Saban in favor of true freshman Tua Tagovailoa. The amazing part of this benching? Here's how he handled it immediately after the game.
Jalen, you've just been shaking your head. You've had that smile on your face. Your reaction when you found out Tua was going to start the second half, honestly.
He was going to step in and do his thing. You know, we have a lot of guys in the QB room that play really well. And he stepped in and did his thing. Did his thing for the team.
Jalen's maturity was on full display here. Unfortunately for him, the media started to question whether or not he had the ability to start at Alabama or maybe even anywhere else at a high level in college football.
Were you at that national championship game? Did you watch it on TV?
Hurts was no longer the starter at Alabama, and controversially, he decided to stick around for one more year. This caused a stir within the media.
What do you think Saban should do from here?
I think Saban should bench him, make him the second string quarterback. That's what I think he should do.
In an open competition with Tua Tagovailoa, Hurts lost the starting job in the spring game. This is what he had to say about the communication between the coaching staff and himself post-national championship and during the spring.
I mean, ever since the championship game, you know, people have counted me out. People have said I'm going to go to Texas or go here, whatever it is. Alumni have said that. I mean, the list goes on. But regardless of what people are saying, I'm still here. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, my job is to be the best quarterback I can be, and that's what I strive to do every day.
In an incredible turn of events during the SEC championship game in the second half, Jalen Hurts was called on to come in for an injured Tua. Here's what the outcome was.
You've decided to stick it out. Can you talk about that journey and why you felt that it was important to stay at Bama and eventually get this kind of opportunity to kind of save your season for you and your teammates?
Well, I can tell you it's been a long time coming. It's been a long year. You know, I can look back after the national championship game. You know, I'm in the hotel room with my parents, my brother and my sister, and you know, I'm in my parents, my mom and dad's arms, crying. And I look up at my dad. I say, you know, what are we gonna do now? And he, you know, he told me, he looked me in my eyes. He told me, he said, we're gonna fight. And you know, I've been fighting for a year, not knowing what the result would be, competing, keeping faith, and God was with me yesterday.
Prior to his senior season, Jalen Hurts transferred to the University of Oklahoma. Here's what the media had to say about his transfer.
I got nothing against Jalen Hurts, but it's like, I don't know, I kind of signed with Alabama on this one.
Will Nick Saban regret giving up on Jalen?
No, not at all. He's going to regret giving up on Jalen.
Jalen Hurts would finish his senior season with 3,851 passing yards, 32 passing touchdowns, 1,298 rushing yards, and 20 rushing touchdowns. The only reason he did not win the Heisman Trophy that year was because Joe Burrow had the greatest quarterbacking season ever seen in college football. Jalen Hurts' senior season was truly something special at Oklahoma. Even after this amazing senior season, draft skeptics were still wondering whether or not Jalen Hurts should even be a quarterback.
He had problems throwing the football.
Right.
I mean, he got benched in a national championship game because they couldn't throw it.
And hence the major question. And
Right.
social media will not be making the call on when he gets drafted or anything like that, but you can dip your toe in and see it. And this ranges a couple of years from Oklahoma back to Alabama, questioning if he would be better at running back or quarterback in the NFL.
Right. And listen, I get those questions.
Despite most draft experts projecting a 4th or 5th round grade on Jalen Hurts, he was taken with the 53rd pick in the 2nd round by the Philadelphia Eagles. Most media members compared Jalen Hurts to Taysom Hill, a tight end who occasionally played quarterback. This was not the vision for Jalen Hurts.
I'm not saying Jalen Hurts should not have been a 2nd round pick. I believe the Eagles shouldn't have selected him in the 2nd round because I don't get what you're trying to do. And I've heard all these theories. They're going to have a package like Taysom Hill. I don't think Taysom Hill was that high of a draft pick, Skip. If you get a guy in the 5th or the 6th round and you want to use some gadgets, okay.
Hurts was believed by most to be a project quarterback who was only meant to serve as Carson Wentz's backup. During his rookie season, Hurts actually started because of Carson Wentz's ineffective play. His rookie season was not impressive, but it did do one thing. It established that Hurts had a real role as the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen was named the starting quarterback for the 2021 season for the Philadelphia Eagles. He finished the year with 3,144 passing yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 139 carries for 784 yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns. He led all quarterbacks in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in the 2021 season. He also led the Eagles to a playoff berth against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately, they were beaten incredibly badly, which only led to more doubting of Jalen Hurts' abilities.
But with Hurts, I don't see it. He missed 4 or 5 like layup throws. Stuff like by this time in your life, you got to be able to hit the 6-yard curl to a tight end when you're thrown out of your end zone. That's a gimme. I mean, that's from me where I'm standing to the camera. I'm an NFL quarterback. I got to hit that 1,000 out of 1,000 times. I got to put it right there. 1,000 out of 1,000 in a clean pocket. So I don't see it. We'll see.
All this brings us to the 2022 season, where Jalen Hurts has had an incredible year and what is one of the 3 finalists for the MVP award. In 2022, Jalen Hurts has had 3,700 passing yards with 22 passing touchdowns and 760 rushing yards with 13 rushing touchdowns. It has been a true turnaround from what many thought on draft night. Now, as we move forward, there are still media members doubting him, and it is exciting to see where this young man will take his NFL career. Never stop believing in yourself. Never stop chasing your success. Take from Jalen Hurts, this type of turnaround is possible. You are capable. I leave you with this message from Jalen Hurts and his success story.
I carry my scars with me everywhere I go. I don't forget. Do I waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else, the opinion of a sheep? No.